All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got NEFL podcast running. I got filling in for Jay Charles, who does not give a crap about anybody but his fantasy league tonight. I got captain of Golden Boys, Riley Cody.
How we doing?
How we doing? Thanks for filling in on short notice. I appreciate it.
Typical Jay move.
Typical Jay move. He's a very selfish dickhead. But Riley filling it in for the people, making things happen. So, I had a little bit of a show planned out. I'm going to flip it up. Somebody flipped the script not that long ago. We got the way too early power rankings by Benjamin Kyle. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go into that, and then we're going to give week one predictions. I think we got a lot to talk about just based on these two topics. So we're going to literally dive right into it. I know we're running a little late today, so we're going to try to get going. So, all right. Benjamin Kyle put out his power rankings, and you know, in his defense, these things are hard to do. Let's not beat him up too much over it. You know, he's got to put people somewhere. It's an opinion. Ben, we all know, has an opinion about everything, and that's fine. Sometimes he's right. A lot of times he's wrong. You know, take it for what it's worth. I do appreciate guys who will go out on a limb and do the best they can, and they make content for everything. So I think this stuff helps the league. So let's try not to take it too personal and beat him up too much. But let's not beat him up, because that makes, you know, that's the fun of it. So, all right at the bottom, we're going to start. And he put at number 24, the Web Warriors. And he put little reasons why. So I'm going to kind of read them off as best as I can. And we're going to comment on them. So he rips Adam away from the womb of his roly-poly loving father, Steven. Is that like a fat joke? Is that what he's saying? I'm pretty sure if we got on a scale, he weighs more than me. His father, Steven, and throws him into the streets of New York City to fight crime. Spider-Man reference. Problem here is, well, a lot. Well, Spider-Man sucks, so... he goes, unfortunately, someone has to be dead last in the rankings, but there's plenty of time to show up and show out, which is right. Adam may be a world champ and have more experience than the majority of the players in this league. It's also his first time being captain in an unorthodox league that can often chew up and spit out captains who aren't sure of themselves, which is true. There's question marks across the board here, including depth and quarterback play. Time will tell if these guys will be web slingers or Peter Parker busters. All right, I like that line. Riley, what do you have any comments on this? What's your take on Web Warriors being at 24?
I mean, I like the talent that they have. I just think that it's very raw and it's new to this league. So I don't want to say they're the worst team on paper, but I think they may struggle a little bit early on. They could be one of those teams that, you know, comes on late and surprises you out of the play-in and, you know, makes a run for it. But I don't hate the ranking. I don't necessarily think they're the worst team on paper, though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree. A lot of things he touches up on, he's not wrong. Yeah. He's not entirely right about them. Their quarterback play, I think, and I'm pretty confident that everybody would be surprised how well their quarterback actually does.
He did look pretty good in the scrimmage, I will say that.
Yeah, he will make his mistakes. He will have his growing pains. I think he will adjust to this league very well. And he's a two-way quarterback. And you know I'm very big on two-way quarterbacks in this league.
That's why Carter took you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a dual threat. They, you know, some people question a lot of picks. I know what they're putting together. And I wouldn't rank them this low. I would at best put them at mid-pack, because there are some questions, and some teams need to, you know, learn how to play together, and these guys will. I think Adam and Danny are good. They are good leaders. Adam's a very quiet leader. Danny's up front, but they're all about, you know, the team and doing what's right for the team and stepping up. And I've played with, obviously, Adam forever, and I played with Danny too in big tournaments, and Danny's a great teammate. So a lot of potential there. Could they not win a game all season? It's possible, especially with those dumbass jerseys. But
I think they play the Screaming Eagles week 1, who will be without Tang and Gora. So it's a good chance to get off on the right foot for them.
Right, and wins are going to be high. You know, high, like even more than any other season. I think winning games is super important, based on how they're breaking up the playoffs. All right, so we're going to move on. Number 23, he's got Free Smoke. He says, comes into the season with admittedly shaky captains, with Ant already declaring immediately after the draft he won't be doing this again. Their draft was equally as unsure of itself, with massive questions at quarterback, how to get Hambone, the Studley David, the ball, and an overall offense scheme that just says get open. We have fears that it may be a long season for Free Smoke. They did have some nice snags in the draft, though, with a veteran dog leader like Finn in the 5th, and Lionel as a very serviceable, solid 2nd. They have some weapons, and Eli and Ant are as thick as thieves. But will that be enough in a league that has hard wins every which way you look? He touches up on a couple things. Free Smoke, who is their
I
quarterback?
believe Townsend, which I don't know anything about.
I don't think
it's Jay Townsend.
Is it Jay
I
Townsend?
believe so.
Captains with Ant already declaring him. Sorry, guys. I thought Jay Townsend was on another team. If he's not,
Let me
yep, you're right. I was wrong.
Okay.
I actually did not hate this team on paper. I think they have a lot of questions and there's potentially some holes to fill. With Jay Townsend trying to learn the league, yeah, it might be a rocky start. They might. This is what I think could happen to Free Smoke, and I don't like it, and I don't see it happening with David Jones and Finn and the two captains, to be honest. But it could potentially happen. Jay Townsend might have a slow start, new league, new style. Just might not adjust well. And if it is just get open, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. So you could come out of the gate losing a couple of games, and that might be it for the season. You might just go downward spiral, guys not showing up. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will with a lot of these players. But I don't disagree with a lot of stuff he says directly.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's a pretty solid roster. Again, I don't know much about Townsend. I hear that he's capable. He can be good. So, I mean, it's going to definitely come down to how he plays. And like you said, a rocky start might cause some issues for them. But, I mean, I do like the roster. I think Eli is very, very sneaky good. Like, very good. I would draft him if he wasn't a captain, to be honest. But, and then, yeah, Hamilton's a stud. Darnell Hennessy too. That could be a good pickup for them.
There's some question on showing up.
Yeah,
We've had that issues with him with Nasty Boys at times. Other teams have. If he shows up, he's very formidable player,
Yeah,
and
sure.
he can play contact. He can play any style. You can put him at safety. You can put him at corner. He's manageable on offense. Like, he does run very good routes. Nothing sneaky about his routes. He just runs them fast and hard, and he is an explosive player. Can catch the ball. So, there's a lot of upside to him if he's there. So, I think a lot of he is kind of the X factor for that team, because we all know what we're getting with pretty much everybody. Jay Townsend obviously an X factor too, but
Yeah.
We have a few comments.
sure.
Mike Howe says, doesn't Rowley got warrants in New Hampshire?
But yeah, live in New Hampshire.
And then he also said, poor Steve can't even read a Cat in the Hat book.
Buddy, try. I mean, there's no that was the longest run-on sentence I've ever seen in my life. There's no punctuation. I knew this was a bad idea. I still got 20. All right, whatever. 22. He's got Zigzag. Says the alternate universe shotgunners came out hot, but may need to actually zig and zag this season to win some games. They lured Hamilton back into the draft with false promises of drafting him, but were not able to move up from the 24th spot, though. Burns and Sean did what they could to piece together a serviceable unit, but they are going to find the sledding tough. Burns looks to show that he's not just a Saturday quarterback and make a name for himself in the season 5 of the NEFL. But with no true backup on the roster, he needs to stay healthy. Scarelli is obviously a dog and a nice weapon. Andre is still a good receiver. And Hamilton lights will do their damage. But will that be enough over 9 long physical games? So as far as the physical games, no. That team is built to play physical. They love playing physical. You like Zigzag here at 22?
I think that's low for them. I think their chemistry is going to play a big part in how Burns performs this year. I know he's had his struggles on Sundays, but I mean in Blitz Thursday League he can get it done. He's proven that, and I think with most of his guys, minus David, he's going to take a big step in this league. So, and yeah, they're pretty physical. I think they'll be like one of those, competitive teams. They're going to be in every game. They're not going to blow you out. They're not going to get blown out. But
Yeah.
I don't mind that team at all. I actually think they're pretty low.
Yeah, I think you're right. To me, I don't dislike putting them at 22 right now, and they might not like it, but I don't. I think the defense can be a little subpar. They don't have that superstar guy, which the Shotgunners have never needed. Okay. But, this is Burns's kind of, now he's got his team. Now he hasn't had a great NEFL career to the potential we all know he can play. Until he proves himself, I wouldn't put them any higher. But they do play very good together, and I'm very big on synergy, and they got a lot of their guys. Will they be able to compete against some of the top teams? Will they be able to cover a dynamic wide receiver duo down the line? Who knows? Time will tell. But they are going to have to score some points because I do think their defense could hold them back a little bit. But I also see it going the other way. I think the defense could be holding up the offense if it stalls. So a lot of questions there. I'm glad they got together. I like those guys together. It's just not the same when they're playing on other teams. All right, 21. He has Screaming Eagles. All hail Trump. This is a joke that won't die all season long. It's too good. Unfortunately, the joke is better than the squad. Johnny Tex and Tang is a great start, but Gora still has question marks all around him. Can he get it done? Can he handle the rush? Does a more advanced mind in David help him get over the hump? Does he more advanced mind in David? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just Ben. Keep going.
I think he's talking captain. Maybe the captain come better plays. Maybe that's a stab at Carter. I'm not sure. This is a team that could be very good. It could also be a kamikaze eagle and ultimately die a quick and fiery death. Let's hope it's the latter of Johnny Tex is one of the truly good kids in the league and super uber talented who's been cursed on an awful team his entire tenure. He's looking at you, Commander Gora. Fly, Eagles, fly, question mark. I like the ranking as well. Like, I can't disagree. I do think a combination of Johnny Tex and Tang, that's a good duo.
If Tang shows up.
Yeah, I think he's going to. He said this season he's showing up every game. He loves this league more than any other league. Like, he loves playing in it.
I mean, Tang to me is a top 10 player in the league without a doubt. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Gora's gonna have his weapons. I mean, Johnny Tex is a good receiver. Kyle Sullivan, he can get open and he catches everything you throw to him. And then Gene Nieves, he's very good. He played very, very well on Dirty Squad. I'm not sure who he played for last year though.
Houday.
Oh, that's right too. He wasn't there when we played them. But yeah, he's a good player too. So I think Gora can manage. So they should be a competitive team. I don't hate the ranking either though.
No, I mean, he is right. Gore's got some question marks, but I think Gore proved a little bit last season.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say proved everything. I wouldn't put him in the top quarterbacks discussion yet, but I think he proved some. He's got a good arm. He can make right reads. He just has to. Probably a little more consistent, especially in this league. I thought he had a good team around him with Carter's the Guardians, Carter's whole team, and they made a decent run. But he's got some weapons on this team for sure. And the top four guys that you talked about are both two-way guys, which really goes far. So, there's a lot of potential of offense and defense picking each other up, or a lot of potential of offense and defense just blowing out teams. So the potential's there. Will it happen? Who knows?
I also saw Gora, or heard, I should say, that Gora is ready to show that he can play defense too in this league. He hasn't done that in the first two seasons that much. So
is that what he said?
That's what I've heard. And it may not come from him, but that's what I've heard.
Can Gora play defense?
What
just happened?
He's ready to show it.
Oh, you want to hear a funny? You know how Adam and Gora actually played together in in middle school or junior high, somewhere seventh, 8th grade. Said Gore was a jerk to him. Adam was playing lineman, so maybe Adam wasn't making his blocks. But all right, we're on to 20. We got the Boston Biscuits. Ugly ass jerseys. I don't care what Javi says about me. Order up. Oh shit, we burned the Biscuits. Halves, who quickly became one of the elite players in the area, and Sean came into the season with some learning experience from Demon Time. So, can they build on that, or are they doomed to be dry and overdone? See, I'll give Ben credit. He put some thought into these. You know, he's trying to make all team. He's a creative dude. They have some serious veterans in Lewis, Sean, and Brendan, but they also have a bunch of question marks. Shane Boss needs to show up and show out and have some good throwing and show why he is one of the elite offensive weapons in the league. It's all on halves designing and implementing an offense scheme and making it work and shoring up what looked like a Swiss cheese defense in the preseason. I mean, Shane Boss can play defense too. So, maybe Shane Boss was a tough fit last time on that team. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. Why does this keep backing up? I don't dislike the rankings. Who's their quarterback?
I believe Sean Fitzgerald is going to play quarterback for them.
Okay.
So.
I like him as a quarterback.
Yeah, I've honestly never seen him throw, but I've heard he's good.
It's been a little while. I like him as a player too. He's a big body. Like I said before when we were talking about him with Jay Charles, it's a big team. There's a lot of big dudes on that team. So, sometimes it's hard to stack up with speed because the field is more a speed field still. It's not a big man field. It's not, it's wide, it's far. But they can offensively play a big man game. So it might be tough for some defenses against them. As far as their defense goes, Javi can play safety, and he's a very good one. So they might be able to line up enough guys, get the tall guys out on corners, and really make it difficult for some from offenses if they get, if they can pull that together, which I think they can. I just can't get by the jerseys.
Yeah, those are pretty ugly, but yeah, I think I don't know. This team has the potential to be good, but it could also fall flat on its face, just like Demon Time did. I do like Shane Boss. I actually think he, in the right situation, he can be a very, very good player. Halves is halves, and then Mo's gonna help out that defense. Like I like the way he plays.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah, he plays physical. He can grab flags. He's a solid leader on the defensive side. So.
He puts the pressure on. He shows up. Like
Yep.
it's a lot of plus sides to that dude.
Yep.
I lost it again.
I think the ranking's fair though.
Yeah.
To start out.
Okay. What was that 20? All right, we got 19. Boom, boom. That's not him being, he's trying to be humble. He thinks he's the best team out there. Bust with a question mark. Ben finally gets to pair up with Sam to put together the AARP team. The oldest average age assembled for flag football outside of the 35-plus World Championships of Tampa comes into the season with a million question marks. Too old, no quarterback, health, who knows what else. What they lack in answers, they make up for the experience and wisdoms and physicality. This roster is peppered with veterans who have strong fundamentals, team-first attitudes, grit, and first-hand championship experience. Let the jokes fly and the doubters doubt. Boom feels good about their chances, and I think the league will be surprised when a team of Kane Walkers are shutting down the youngins. Time will tell if Boom Boom can be a boom or bust team, but one thing is for sure, they will all be in bed by 7 o'clock. All right, I can relate to that. I do like this team. Listen, we can all joke about age. You're not building a dynasty. No, this is one season. Yep. They got Jamal, who defines age. It still plays top talent, one of the best around at that old age. They make fun of old guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's more embarrassing to be 21 and not be able to compete with the guys who are 35 and over. For sure. So that's Ben. You can't compete with any of them. Shut up. So 35 plus world champions. Yeah, I got 2 rings on that. Thanks for mentioning me in there, Ben. How do you like it? How do you like this team?
I think scoring on them is going to be tough. I mean, Jamal is one of the best defensive players around, still at his age. Anthony Brooks, I don't know much about him other than that he played pro football. So
He played overseas.
Yep.
Very good player.
So yeah, I've heard great things. Fast, strong, tough.
He's played with me in Bedford.
Okay.
He one of his friends got me on. He got him on my team, and then he stopped playing to go overseas and play again. He could do it all. Defense, offense, physical, fast. Obviously we know he can ball at top levels. He has proved it.
Yeah. So I mean, those are two great defensive players right there, and then Sam and Larry and Mike Rodriguez, good players. Yeah, I don't know. I think scoring on them will be tough, but offensively, I don't know. They could struggle.
Yeah.
They could struggle. I mean, Ben is very high on Larry at quarterback. I mean, he looks like he could be the part, but I've never seen him, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll give him credit. He can taste out quarterbacks. He can see talented quarterbacks. He has done it before. And you have Sam there. He can throw. He's a very good player too. The offense has potential, for sure. If I had to pick, what side of the ball I think is better, yeah, you're right. It's defense, and this could be one of those, dirty squad type scenarios where their defense is just really making it hard for teams. I don't know who their bottom 3 picks are. But Ben is one of the best at finding late round guys. He does his homework.
He has done that. He's high on sorry if I mispronounce this, but Moni?
Sray?
Sray, yeah. So he said I don't know, from talking to Ben, he's very high on him. I don't know anything about that guy. So that could be one of those, steals that he got.
Yeah, what did he get? Anthony Brooks' brother last season, like one of the last picks.
Yeah,
last rounds,
very,
right?
Very late, and he had a very good season at receiver. So
ended up being one of their real good dark horses. And
yep.
All right, we're gonna move on from Ben. We're giving him way too much airtime. All right, 18. He had best buds. Danny Dimes and Yeba finally make up for the last season's debacle of Yeba not drafting Danny and pairing up. But something strange happened to these two spuds during draft day. Yeba yielded some draft control to Danny, who is still green when it comes to things outside of Bedford. I don't believe Danny Dimes plays in Bedford.
Yeah, it was a terrible take.
What culminated is a roster with more than a few chemistry and personnel issues. How many times does Johnny quit on the team before week 5? How many touchdowns does Danny have without elite weapons like Cheeks and Baldwin? Does Yeba have to play too much on both sides of the ball? I just lost it. All right, whatever. What's your take on it?
Best buds to me, sleeper team. I think the ranking is fair based off of what's on paper. They don't really have a true number 1 receiver, I would say, but they have 2 great leaders on both sides of the ball with Danny at quarterback and Lazu Senior on defense. So, I mean, it's all about having leadership on the team, and Yeba's a great teammate. I played with him, so I think they have the right leaders in place. It's just a matter of putting the puzzle pieces together, and maybe some guys outperforming themselves from years past on the offensive side of the ball. But I mean, Danny Dimes had a great season last year, so I could see them being a sleeper team late.
They have the weapons for sure. I don't think Danny Dimes is one of those quarterbacks that needs a superstar receiver.
I agree.
I've seen him move the ball with formidable receivers. I don't think he needs it to be successful. Obviously, it helps. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Having the better receivers will help any quarterback. Maybe a lot, maybe a little. It's still going to help them. I don't care. But I think they drafted pieces that can fit. Good teammates, guys who really want to, compete. What's the deal with Johnny quitting? I've never seen Johnny quit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that
I
a
think
joke,
that
or
was
is
a shot at the Goya Beans fiasco, whatever they had going on.
Oh, maybe.
But I don't know.
I think I played them Goya Beans for Blitz and
for
shit. Okay. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, Johnny's shown up every time every time I've been in this league. Johnny showed up. So
Yeah, I haven't seen any otherwise. I mean, he's a fiery player, but a lot of people are, and that's a good thing too. You want the guys that want to win. So, all right, on to 17, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. Carnivores, but I believe him and Booten are buddies, right? Is this a?
I'm not sure on that.
No.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
I consider both of them part of the good old boy crew that I rip on.
Fair.
But Carnivore says, Derek, that bastard, stole Penn's comp pick in Kamani Jones. Kid is a certified stud and may be top 15 overall talent in this league. Paired with Anthony and Stretch and Bana, this would be a formidable matchup for any team. Lamar comes in as a big question mark. He put big twice. I don't know if that's a shot at Lamar's size. Question mark, though. One of the nicest guys in the league and one of the biggest arms. Can he be consistent enough to overcome inevitable turnovers? I also have some questions about their team's defensive speed. We're finally hitting the next level teams, though, and Derek showed why he's a veteran captain applying lessons he's learned with some up and down past seasons to put together a team that has a chance to eat up some of the competition and make a push. Whether this is some amusement park disaster, a legit king of the carnivores remains to be seen. I wish I decided not to read these. I thought they were going to be more like, I don't know, in depth, more reasoning, just kind of obvious and making jokes.
Yep.
Whatever. What do you think?
I mean, I like Anthony Williams. I was actually considering him at 6. I think he's a very good two-way player. This Kamani Jones guy who was taken in the comp round, I guess he's a beast. I haven't seen him play, but so those two off the bat, those are good picks in my opinion. I don't see where this roster fits together. I think Billy Felt being there might help them, with leadership wise, but I don't see where they fit together. That's how I feel. So I think it could be a tough year for him.
Yeah, the biggest question, and no pun intended, is the quarterback.
Yeah.
What I've told, he's never got a full season, but I've also been told he doesn't want to play quarterback. So it's obviously I'm sure Booten had that conversation with him before they paired up and decided what they were going to do. The talent's there,
For sure.
In a quarterback league where a lot of quarterbacks say it's easy to play quarterback in this league, with that talent, you should be able to make some noise. They will be a tough team to score on. What?
No, I just got a comment. Jose Hernandez says he will be fine.
Who?
I think.
Oh.
Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Lamar play great. I'm not knocking the guy, and I'm sure he will be fine. If he's more than fine, then that team could be very dangerous.
He said he wants to show what he has.
Yeah. All right. Good. And he should, because a big quarterback like that too. He could run. Not a nice stiff arm from a big guy like that. Think twice about rushing in on him. But ugly jerseys.
Very ugly.
I wish I was paired up with Ant Williams this season. I miss playing
he's
with
a
that
great
guy.
player.
And he's put on a mask. He's going to be a great two-way player in this league. And, that's a talented team. So, all right, at 16, we got Touchdown Mafia. Keno is back with a new co-captain and a very suspect fifth-round grade evaluation, Corey Grant. They rode together last year, and Keno is one of the only 4 captains with a ring. The touchdown should be flowing hot and heavy like Mephisto's? I don't know. Wedding. But can they avoid defensive depth issues and get locked in and motivate Keo? Nuge leads the way with his dynamic two-way abilities, and they have size and speed at the receiver position, but the defense here will be tested as they have very little in the way of solid two-way depth. Horn plays a nice middle and can cue in a pinch. Mark brings much-needed veteran leadership, and Volpe is a hot new kid on the block. Let's see what Keno can do. How do you like this team?
I'm high on this roster. I actually really like it. I think they're fringe top 10. Nuge, obviously, he's great. You know what he brings, both sides of the ball. Keo's good. I think Kevin Clark, he's underrated. I think he's good. Corey Grant, he can go up and get you some tough catches. Like you said, George Horn, he can play the middle. Al Pacino, he's going to give you everything he has every play. So I actually like this roster a lot. I think they can make some noise.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Nuge thinks I don't like him. I rip on him a lot. I think he genuinely thinks I don't like him. I really do like Nuge. But he'll still think I don't like him after this. I don't think he's a great quarterback.
Well, yeah, he's definitely better elsewhere. But for this roster, it looks like he will play quarterback. I did hear a little bit of rumblings that Keno is considering George Horn as a QB1, but I think it's going to be Nuge.
If I'm captain of that team, and I drafted Nuge, I think I'm starting George Horn. I think that, to me, would be the safe move to see how it goes. Nuge getting a second season. I thought he had some talent on his last team. Unfortunately, just didn't pan out for them. I think he turns the ball over too much. I think sometimes he runs when he shouldn't, and sometimes he should run when he doesn't. But he's nonetheless he's outstanding sometimes, and he can take over a game, which not many people can. But I like them where they're at. I do like their roster. Corey Grant as they're gonna say suspect. There's a lot more suspect grade evaluations for captains.
Mike Howe with Rua.
Some comments saying Al Pacino broke his wrist.
Oh shit,
no.
That's not good.
That's definitely a hit. Rest up, Al.
Heal up. That sucks.
Yes, in their co-ed game last week, is what Dan Cruz said.
Oh really?
Damn.
I watched that game. I thought. Maybe not. That sucks. Yeah, heal up. All right, on to 15. He has Tropic Thunder. Carter's the man playing the man who's playing the man. Back with Tambo and paired with an electric amigo, Tropic has one of the better rosters in the league on offense. They also get the Defensive Player of the Year in Carter in two ways: that defensive side, but can Tambo help out as a one-way first-round talent? This team is going to score bunches, but something tells me they are going to be in shootouts almost every game. Carter's one of the absolute elite studs in the region, though, so I'm sure he will find a way to Iron Man the shit out of this year. Sounds like he's lobbying to get Carter as his co-captain next season. Not that anything he said was not true. We all know that, but a very little write-up on Tropic Thunder. He hates me as a quarterback. That's why I said he has mostly a good knack for quarterbacks. He's always ripped on me as a quarterback, and he would continue to rip on me. That's why I was glad he didn't draft me. I was pretty happy about that. I will not play for that man. No, just kidding. I genuinely think Carter drafted a good team. I genuinely think Carter drafted a good defense.
Yeah, that's what in the write-up, he said, he drafted a great offense. I think he drafted more defensive-oriented guys, to be honest. And I think taking you in the first round, you're like Danny Dimes, where you don't need 3-4 top-end talents at receiver to move the ball and score points. And, Carter, you already got Carter. So I think you can plug in guys and, move the ball and score points with, the best of them. So I actually do like your team as well, and I think Carter drafted some defensive-oriented guys. And, I would definitely consider you guys a top 10 team.
Yeah, I think that's just Ben taking a shot at me. He's trying to discredit me, so he's trying to say we're a more offensive team. That way, if I succeed, he's going to say, "Hey, well,
you had the weapon."
Yeah. See, no, I think Carter did a good job. He's right about the first round talent. When you have a first round guy who only goes one way, that does hurt. It really does.
Yeah,
you do have to be on your draft game. It doesn't kill a team. Don't get me wrong, but it'll hurt a team a little bit. That's why we'll go back to Nuge. I think Nuge is more valuable than me in this league. And I've been very vocal about that.
I would probably agree, just because he's such a stud defensively too. So
correct, but I think Carter drafted well and made up for maybe that
100%.
So I don't dislike where we are. I like it. He's got us mid pack roughly.
He's wrong.
It could go both ways, and I love proving Ben wrong. So I'll do my best. As much as I dislike Carter, it's coming. Just kidding. All right, 14, no fly zone. Duval, words aren't needed to describe how good he is. And Walter, an immediately unfair captain pairing. Okay, so he touched up on a good unfair pass. Is only made stronger with hammy Sanford, but can his ankles keep him upright this year? Burris and Lazo Jr. round out what surely be a very, very good defense. They lose a bit when it gets in the later part of their roster, and Duval will have to do some heavy lifting to make up for the fact that the depth is lacking, and Sanford is a one-way guy. Ultimately, though, whether this plane stays grounded or they take off with force, and keeping all other grounded is on Jimmy's shoulders, and whether he plays up to his past potential, ultimately this unknown is what is keeping them in the hangar a bit longer. So a lot of no-fly references. How do you like this team?
I think it's a great roster. As long as Jimmy can stay upright, I don't see how they don't win 7 or 8 games, honestly. I mean, you got Lazu Jr., obviously Duval, he's the best player in the league. And then Burris is a young kid who's got a lot of talent. Walter, great offensive, threat. And he's actually pretty good defensively, too, grabbing flags. And then you got Biggie, Biggie's Biggie. So you put Duval behind Biggie and Nash running the ball a couple plays, that'll be dangerous.
Yeah.
I like this team. I think they're a 7 or 8 win team.
Yeah, and that I agree. And top to bottom, I would honestly say they top to bottom have one of the best rosters, and I would move them above 14 for sure. I get why he put them where they're at. There are some questions. Will Jimmy be healthy enough? I think that may be why he dropped to the 3rd round. He's normally a 1st-round guy. So to get him in the 3rd round, if he's able to play, is a steal. I've seen him walking around reffing. This is one of those leagues where you don't always have a rush coming at you. You have a lot of time in the backfield. You don't have to run as a quarterback. The guys who have proved it. Obviously, there's some downsides to that, but the upside, especially taking Jimmy at 3, is huge. He's got a lot of guys to throw to. He's got one of the best offensive weapons there. Jimmy can throw long. Duval can run long. It's going to be very difficult to stop that offense if they're full squad. They got leadership on both sides. They got great guys on both sides, guys who can block, physical players. I did really like this team. They were actually in my top 3, I think, when we did our
I think you did have them top 3.
Yeah, so when Jay and I did that. So I'm very high on this team. Even if Sanford's not able to play, I still think they're going to put up a fighting chance for sure. I just don't know who would their backup quarterback be.
Probably Martell.
Yeah, okay.
So.
And the worst case, if Jimmy's now Martell's no Jimmy. Don't get me wrong. Martell's very formidable. Doesn't turn the ball over that much too. So if the defense pans out like they want it to, which I think it should, Martell regardless will keep them in game. So that even with Martell throwing and Jimmy out, I still have him over 14. But if Jimmy's there throwing, it's going to be dangerous to, one of the potential top 3 offense and potential top 3 defense. I don't see it any other way.
Loaded.
So I think Mr. fucking Ben dropped the ball in that one. So, all right, 13 Toxic Kings. I'm not reading this. We're gonna be here all night if I'm reading these fucking things. I'm sorry. I tried to keep it going, but we're already after 9. Ben showed up late. So TK, he said TK traded up to get dynamic Artie, the left-handed gunslinger. I don't dislike that move. Artie's been playing his best games lately. 5-man co-ed. I've seen it. Artie can run, which helps. Artie's got a cannon, which helps. And I think if you give Artie a lot of time back there, like this league does, he'll make the right decisions, and he can put a ball there. He slings. I'll stand by. Jimmy's got the strongest arm. Artie's pretty close. So, how did you like this team?
That's a nice muscly throwing arm you got there.
I don't know. I think Artie, obviously, I think he'll excel in this league. He excels in pretty much everywhere he plays. Nico coming back, I mean, he was great before he left, so I would imagine he's still the same guy. They got Phillip Brooks, who had a good season for Boom Boom. Bailey's a little speedster. Vieira, not bad. And then they got Iso Zay, who I don't know much about, but I guess he plays in that full tackle 7-on-7
Oh, yeah,
league.
yeah.
So he might bring some toughness to them. I think they'll be a good squad. I just don't know if they're a contender. I think they're a middle of the pack team.
Yeah, I think they have a great offense, outstanding defense, potentially. I think they will be more than a mid-pack team. Chicky's playing, not reffing this season.
Thank you, Chicky.
I was surprised, honestly, in seeing that, but I'm glad. He says he wants to play, so I'm glad he deserves it.
Great.
But yeah, we'll see. A couple question marks on that team. I like to see how it pans out for him, but I think a lot of it rests on Artie's shoulders. Artie tends to, at times, throw too many picks, and this isn't a league you really throw picks in.
No, you can't.
It's very tough to come back. You throw a couple picks in a game. All right, number 12, he's got Supreme. One problem sticks out here. Well, maybe two. Size, and soberness. How do you like this team?
I think they got a formidable team. I love Ricky. I've played with him a little bit. He's a great player, great two-way player. Yem, same thing. I played a couple games with him. I like his game a lot. The thing with Bova's a good player, but he gets overdrafted every year, and I think that's what they did with him. So I think if they had a later second round pick and took him, it would have been better, or even third round. But I think he gets overdrafted, and it's not his fault. He's one of the better QB options in a draft that doesn't usually have a lot of quarterbacks available. So I think they'll be competitive. I'm not really sold on them being a top 10 team or anything like that, but they'll be a competitive team.
Yeah, size may be an issue, but I've seen a lot of those guys play. They play bigger than their size.
For sure.
All of them.
Ricky especially.
Yeah. So we can talk about size, and I get it. They might not do very well against some jump balls, but as far as the rest of the league, the physicality of the league and how it pans out, I think they'll do just fine. I don't know if I like them top 12. I might have dropped them down a little bit.
Yeah, I think No Fly Zone should definitely be ahead of them. I mean, No Fly Zone should be probably top 7-ish.
Yeah, but they got a lot of chemistry. They already know how to play together, and that's huge. Could start off the season just right, and only time will tell. So he's got 11 only flags by sheer power of Jason Grace. This team is ranked 11. Not a fan of the roster, the depth. Jay being hurt. Yeah, Jay being hurt is a huge thing for this team. Now, if he comes healthy by playing in playoffs, it's fine. They just might not be a team that gets that bye or gets out of the the play-in. But if Jay's there and healthy, it's a whole thing. And again, I alluded to this. People question his draft last season.
I didn't. I had them top 3. But yes, you're right. A lot of people did.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people didn't even have them top 10. It's everybody's rankings, and you gotta trust that Jay, some man knows what he's doing. He just doesn't know what he's doing with the show. Lets me know an hour before the show he's got a fantasy draft.
Typical
But
Jay.
you play football. You don't need to play fantasy football. Get the fuck out of here. But no, I like he's got a lot of workers on his team, and he does. He alluded to that. He likes guys who are workers, heart in the game, give you 100% the whole time. And he did draft, a lot of guys. He's got Anthony Sarno and Peter Lord on the tail end of it. He loves taking Sarno and not letting Ben take him. All right, number 10, Black Mambas. Pat and Joe showed out last season. That like a Black Mamba, they can strike at any time. Yeah, Pat and Joe were good. They took Joe Harris first round.
Yeah, it was a great pick.
I have to go back and forth and then find the fucking teams. Oh man, how do you like this team?
I love it. I think Joe Harris is one of the best linebackers in the league. Pat's one of the best safeties in the league. So right off the bat, they're gonna have a good defense. I'm not familiar. They actually have a good amount of rookies that I'm not familiar with. One guy that I think could be good. I think they drafted him pretty early. Was Vinny Schmidt.
Yep.
I don't know if you know him.
I've seen him before.
Yeah. So they obviously are high on him. They took him early. So I think this team for sure is a top 10 team. So I think their ranking's fair.
Yeah, they're gonna run the ball. I'm assuming heavy.
100%.
You know, and if you cannot at least give a fighting chance to stop the run, it's gonna be a long day for your team. And you know, they got big bodies. My question is for them is defense. You know, Joe Harris is very great downhill. Good flag puller. It's a big field. It's tough to cover deep.
It is.
You know, how many safeties you're going to play, how they're going to play it. You know, hey, I'm interesting. I'm sure they have a strategy. I'm sure they're going to come out. I'm sure they have a game plan. I just, on paper right now, I don't see it being a great defense. But if they can keep offenses off the field, kind of frustrate them a little bit with the run game, and you got a lot of guys going two ways, and you beat them up a little bit, they're going to be tired on offense. So it could go a long way for them. The big question for this one, the biggest question, does Kenny Wheels show up? So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, so we cracked into the top 10. At 9, he has City Boys. Obviously, he's the quarterback position in question. Do you waste the dynamic abilities on Yogi and Greg with serviceables? So he's touching up on, you know, great team, speed, blocking, defense. They have size. Do they have the quarterback to go long? And only time will tell. It's tough. Everybody said the same thing about City Boys right now. Fire jerseys. I like them. You know, Yogi and Greg on the same team is nuts, and they play very good together. We just played them in co-ed. It's very difficult. No matter what format, no matter what style they play, they're good at everything. I think the quarterback figures it out towards the end of the season, and that's when it's going to be needed. You know, they might be a mid-pack. They might be they might have a tough time. I think they pull it out and they probably make a run. They'll upset a team down the line. I'll probably guarantee that.
Yep.
All right, number 8, we got Certified Kings. Certified fresh like rotten tomatoes. This team comes in with a great duo at the captain position, and Curtis finally showing the league why his huddle tape is elite. They grabbed Gavin. Said like his dad, Kurt, he's a baller. Austin is fucking Austin. Yeah, I was really high on this team. I know Jay Charles put him in his top 3, I believe. I was pretty close with that. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great team. I was like, when I first looked at the next morning at the draft, I was like, wow, I think this team might be the best team. They're definitely one of the better teams for sure. They got a lot of speed. Curtis and Austin, they've played together a good amount, so they'll have good chemistry there. I know Curtis took a lot of his guys too. A rookie, Anthony Doobie, I know he played high school with him, so yeah, I think this team's going to be great.
Yeah, Scott Bedard's a great player. I think he got a bad rap
too, yeah. One
season with the fumbles, but it wasn't like that last season. He plays in the Thursday league. There's not fumbles like that. And I love playing with the dude, and he can do anything. You know what I mean? He can throw, he can catch, he can block. He's good speed for a bigger body. Bona, like I said, Bona played with us last season. Played with me. Fighting an injury all season. I felt bad, and I really wanted him to take time off, but we really didn't. We had 6-7 guys sometimes, and I'd be going out on defense playing for him because that's how hurt he was. Hopefully, he's healed from that. And
yeah, he impressed me in his rookie showcase 2 seasons. I was looking to draft him too. So
yeah, I liked him there too. And just it was like week 1 and nagging injury all season, and I felt bad. So like I said, we haven't seen the best out of Bona. So 7, he's got crazy work, crazy physical. No one is going to want to play this team. When this team is rolling right, they will steamroll. He's not wrong there. With filthy picks in rounds 1 through 5, they only added to what was already an amazing core in Noel and House. Nutter Baby, the steal of the draft in the 4th round, and a horrid ref. Christian finally shows. Sorry. Horror. So, but he's saying a bad ref. Christian finally shows he's good at football. as he is a bad ref. All right, DJ's there. Yeah, I haven't seen him play in years. He used to play in Blitz.
Really?
So, if he stayed in shape and what he's a steal for sure. DJ there, DJ playing with his boys, another chemistry thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
DJ's gonna have his best season yet, playing with his guys.
And it's tough to top his season with Touchdown Mafia.
Well, he's going to. I think he'll be in the MVP consideration this year.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, Christian, I guess he's the real deal. So.
At football?
Yep, I guess he is. So that team's very physical, good chemistry, and they look like they got some playmakers for DJ to operate with.
Right on. One of my favorite jerseys.
Yes, very good jersey.
Even though I hate anime. All right, number 6, he's got No Limit. This is like the Bradley Cooper movie Limitless. You ever see that movie?
I have not, no.
Devon and Ivan have been doing their thing for a long time, and they got their man JJ. Harmel is like a Shizzy light. AK is one of the better defenders in the league, even though he still catches balls on offense with his mouth.
Pause.
And they added in veteran leadership with Brian Sayre and Joe Page. Yeah, they're gonna hate me. I don't know if I'd put him in the top 6. I always speak very highly of the guys. Some, they haven't had the greatest success lately, but being together, I think they'll do very well. They got Safia. How do you say his name? Safa. Andrew. They got Drew Siafa. Sorry. And Jonathan Anderson, which I think were both great picks where they got him.
Very good picks. Very good defenders.
A lot of two-way players. I know he's knocking on AK. AK can play offense. I mean, he does drop the ball every now and then. Huge offensive weapon last season. Very helpful to me. They have a lot of two-way players. The potential. I mean, if they won the league, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? Wow. I just don't know if I would have them.
Won the league, huh?
If they won the league, I would not be surprised.
I think they're a good team, but contender-wise, they're probably outside of my top 6. I'd say they're about 9 or 10 in my eyes.
Yeah.
But they do have a good roster, and Siafa and Anderson will help them out defensively for sure. I like those picks a lot. So.
Yeah, I think.
But it would shock me if they won the league.
Yeah, I know I'm kind of sounding condescending, like I don't know if I'd have them in my top 6, but I wouldn't be shocked if they won. I know it's probably doesn't make sense, but if they won the league, yeah, because they have a great team top to bottom. They just got to pull it together. Yeah. JJ's had a hard time staying healthy. Harmel, this is his first season, but he's a dog, and he's
very good player.
Yeah, the potential's there for sure, and. Yeah. All right. Breaking into the top 5. He's got Drip Check at 5. Rocker BBQ'd a nice draft here. Let's see if he can rein in Danny just enough to put the veteran solid squad over the top and avoid a late season implosion like Punishers of last year. Danny has shown now in multiple leagues he can win and win at a high level. Rocker is fresh off a Blitz championship, and the roster is deep with Gene, Ty, Kennedy, and multiple-time champion Brian Timmons. They have additional depth with Sneaky Lake pick Gio, GB. Who's GB?
Garrett Berry.
Oh, and Nate. The only thing stopping this team from succeeding is themselves, and I anticipate this being one of the better regular season teams fighting for a first-round pick and a deep playoff bid. I think he means a first-round bye. How do you like this team?
I think it's a good roster to have around Danny. I think Danny will excel with these guys around him. Rocker is a great leader, great teammate, and Gene. I know Danny loves Gene. He obviously took him early. I like Gene as a player too. Siete, no clue really like where he came from, but he's a young kid. He looks pretty good at the scrimmage on Sundays, so I think he could be good for them.
A lot of speed, right?
Yeah, he was fast. Yep. Gio's a sneaky good player. And then I was curious to see how Timmons would fit, but he was catching a lot of passes in the scrimmage, so I think he's going to fit in with them. I actually do like this team. I would say they're also a top 10 team for sure.
Timmons fits well in any system. He's a very good adapting player.
Gotcha,
And he'll
yeah.
do whatever you need him to do. Very good pick there. Gio's a good player. Getting Garrett Berry at 6, I think is a good, I know him and Danny have butt heads a lot. If they can keep it cool.
Yeah, no, Garrett can be a good player. He really can. He just gets in his head, I think, a little bit too much.
Yeah. I think he does. But yeah, I agree. Top to bottom, good roster,
Yep.
good, good guys. Going to be a tough defense to score on, and their offense should do well. So, all right, number 4, he's got Flip the Bird. Howe came in hot with a dartily, unfair captor pairing with Rue when Patty Ice decided to sit out the season to concentrate on media relations and rest his knee. Yeah, that was another pairing I didn't think was very fair. Howe then threw a left hook, flipped out the league, and had one of the best drafts in the league. Their wide receivers core is gross. Howe is obviously elite, and they have veteran leadership and size across the board. Yeah, Howe is very good at drafting teams.
He is. He proved that last year. I mean, he had probably the best team on paper. They didn't get it done, but yeah, they were a very good team.
Yeah, he's got a great duo here in Vance and Bryce.
Very good. Vance at 19 was crazy. That was a very, very good pick.
Yeah,
I don't know how he dropped that far.
Adam was at 21, couldn't believe it, and he was like hoping Vance would drop to him.
Yeah.
But Vance and Bryce, two-way players, guys who can attack on any side of the ball. You got Connor McGann there who can stretch the field. He can play defense, great flag puller. Jonathan Sheridan, sneaky good receiver. He knows how to get to the open area.
He played with you on Outsiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Not the greatest hands, but good hands. Very good hands. Some of those games, he was our golden boy. You know what I mean? Guys had to concentrate on Adam and Carter when they were both healthy. So and when they went down, Sherry was a big step up. So good teammate, never going to give you a hard time. Plays his heart out, and I like this team. Mike Howe behind the helm. He always gives very good decision making in this league for him.
We don't know if his heart's in it though. He's retired. He's not retired. He's on vacation. He's not on vacation. We'll see how much he shows up. But if he shows up consistently, yeah, this team's a contender.
Yep. All right, number 3, Greek gods. I disagree with this one.
Same.
The mountain of Olympus reached down and blessed Jacob with the 3rd overall pick, as he needed. Yeah, Jacob always needs a top 3 guy, that's for sure. Really, Joey just rigged the balls. We know that, trust me. No, but seriously, getting Cheeks at 3, a former number 1 overall pick, was a gift, and Jacob does more with less than any quarterback in the league. Former champion, consistent and strong leader. Jeez, what is he trying to fucking team up with him next season? Jeez. All right, I'm not bore you guys with the slurping. I do like this roster. I don't hate it, and I love playing with Cheeks. I really do.
Yeah. Cheeks is probably top 3 offensive players in the league. So.
He's very good at tracking the ball.
Yeah.
I've played one season of blitz with him. He runs his routes hard. He does get open, and he almost catches everything. It's unfriggin' real. But some people knock, is he that great of a two-way player? I know he can play defense.
I mean, he's gonna have to for this team.
I think so.
He can't not play defense. So
I think so. Jacob's another guy who drafts well. Like I said, I think he has a scheme on how it's supposed to go down. He's got a certain playbook. But I think he's going to have a difficult time. I thought he had a better team last season and didn't go as far as he potentially should have. And who knows? He just lost to me in Coed last week, so he might be down in the dumps. I might have buried him. So, all right, moving on. Number 2, we got Heat Check. Dome somehow ran his mouth last season to the number 2 pick this season, convinced Deuce to run it back. Shizzy was on the board and off the board and then back on and right into the lap of Heat Check. Everyone is going to need to bring their shades week in and week out because this team is going to have some offensive firepower. They have the best trio of receivers in the league, 2 of the biggest, most physical blockers in the league, and a quarterback with an arm that can go end zone to end zone. This team will never be out if they are down by 1 score.
Well, is any team ever out?
Yeah,
when they're down 1
is that like an insult? Okay. I don't know what he's saying there. Maybe he's just saying if they're ever down, they're never out, which he's not wrong. I'm a little concerned about their depth and Jason missing any games. The quarterback situation has been dicey, but I anticipate this team winning a lot, losing a little, and being very much in the bright, hot lights of the playoffs. Go ahead, Dome. Take your flowers. This was a great draft for your... Sorry, this was a great draft, and you're in a position this year to do something you couldn't do last year, win a chip. I had Heat checking my top 3. I don't disagree with the the rankings. You can put them at 1. You can put them at whatever.
Yeah, for sure. They're top 4s.
Who is that third receiver he's talking about?
Walkley, which
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
very, very good. So
Yeah.
they're loaded with their top 4 players with Shizzy, Deuce, Walkley, and Jason, and then Pat Morris, great teammate. He's a physical guy. Dome, we know he can block. Jay Thomas, he's going to be sneaky good for them. I think this team, if you said they were the best team overall, I wouldn't argue you.
I think I did have him at my best team.
I wouldn't argue against it.
I think getting Jay Thomas where they did is a huge steal. He was on TD Mafia. Great corner. I don't understand how he dropped to the 5th. It's nuts to me.
Did he play last year?
No.
I think that's probably why.
There's enough people that know him.
Yeah, true. But yeah, he played great for TD Mafia. So
Yeah, it was insane because I was watching some of their games and I've seen Jay Thomas. I've never seen him play before, and I was impressed. But yeah, steal of the draft. Dome and Deuce. I mean, they have their ear to the ground with talent. I feel they always draft. I mean, they had last year's draft and then this year. I say always, but the 2 drafts, they've done a very good job of putting guys in places and getting a team that definitely could win a championship.
yeah.
I think they might be in a better stance than they were last season.
Well, yeah,
for sure.
They improved the quarterback play, and then adding Shizzy, obviously, that's just gonna elevate you.
Yeah. All right, off to number 1, and coincidentally, my guest. We got the Golden Boys. Jeez, Ben loving you. You want to read this one, or?
I'll let you do it. You read the first 23.
Oh boy, this team is laying more bodies than Junior and Riley during their freshman year at Curry College. 6 for 6 in the first 6 rounds. Size, speed, skill, and more. Paired with the top 3 QB and top 15 backup QB with elite potential and defensive talent, this team is primed like Rudy to be the story of the season. I don't see any scenario where Riley doesn't secure the number 1 seed, maybe even by week 6-7, and this team can rest its starting players for the playoff run. Anything less than a trophy raise from this team is disappointment in Ben's opinion. Deepest and probably the most well-rounded team in the league with multiple sleeper picks in Quinn and Susie, all with that, an elite quarterback, football instincts, and a fuck ton of flag experience. Etch the names on the trophy now. Buddy, you snaked your buddy in the league, huh? Last I saw, he was out in the chat, and I never saw anything else.
He made his way back in. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track, but I saw him there on draft day, and had to take him. But yeah, no, I was very happy to get him, and I know McGrath because McGrath knows him. He was looking to get him that same round, so I'm glad I pulled the trigger when I did.
Oh, good.
But,
yeah, I mean, it's a steal where you got him.
Yeah, for sure.
The guy can play both ways.
Yep.
He's a physical player.
Yep.
Obviously, you got the chemistry. I love the Chad pick. Hate the Junior pick. Love the Quinn pick. Love the Kyle pick. Love the Susie pick. Who's your co-captain?
Coop.
Another kind of snaky
I don't
5th
know.
round.
I don't know. Cheeks had him last year, so.
Yeah, but he says I always rip on him. I think he's better than a 5th.
Yeah,
But I think it's a better pairing than a lot of the ones we can talk about. So how do you feel about being picked number 1 by Ben?
I mean, I'm happy he thinks that we are. I do love my team. I mean, preseason rankings are preseason rankings. Look
Yeah.
what just happened in college football. Clemson, LSU. Anything can happen. I think he's crazy saying that we're gonna lock up the 1 seed by week 6 or 7. I don't know if he's looked at our schedule, but there's no cupcakes.
I don't think. Yeah.
We got a tough schedule for sure. So, I think that for us to earn that, we're gonna have to go every week, and it's gonna come down to the last week probably. So,
Yeah.
I do love my roster though. I think if we click on all cylinders, we can be one of the better teams. So we'll see.
All right. How's the shoulder feeling?
It's day by day. So
Yeah,
some days it feels great, some days it's sore.
That's tough.
I just deal with it.
Well, heal up. I mean, you have Junior there. If you need.
Junior's not QB2 for the record. So.
How bad of a season do you have to be for Junior to step in and throw?
Well, he's not QB2, so I would say the season would have to be going downhill fast.
Who's QB2?
Probably Coop.
Yeah, he actually throws pretty well.
I actually think Junior's very valuable at receiver, so I want to keep him there all season.
I do agree. I told him that. Listen, I rip on that kid all the time. I've known him for a long time. Not as long as you, but I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for a long time. I mean, sure hands. He can stiff arm, big dude. He'll come in and block.
He knows how to run routes.
Yep.
I love that. I love guys that know how to play the game.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So I agree. All right. You get the schedule up? You want to do some predictions?
For week 1?
Yeah. Let's get those done quickly. We've been going long. I gotta. Jesus.
All right, here we go. First game of the day is the Best Buds playing the Boston Biscuits.
Who do you think's taking that one?
The Tight Pants Sportsbook has Best Buds favored by 4.5. I like them to cover with ease. I think Best Buds by 2 scores.
Yeah, I like Best Buds in this game too. All right, next game.
We got Only Flags against the Carnivores with, I believe, Jay good to go.
Jay is playing this one.
Yep.
What's the spread there?
We got 9.5 from Tight Pants.
Are we picking against the spread, or are we just picking winners?
Oh, let's just pick winners.
All right. I think Only Flags pulls it out.
Yeah.
I think it'll be closer than everybody thinks.
No, I agree. I think the Carnivores will hang around. I think the game could be, around tied at halftime, and then Jay will pull ahead late, win by a score or 2.
Honestly, I think Jay's one of the best at second half adjustments.
Agree. That's why I said second half.
But yeah, I think so too. All right, next one.
Toxic Kings -2 against Boom Boom.
Toxic Kings.
I think the public is rolling heavy on the Toxic Kings. I got Boom Boom. Week 1, pulling the upset.
So you're playing the role of Vegas here, right?
I am.
You're like
I'm fading the public.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We disagree on that one. I'm taking Toxic Kings.
And then we got, according to Ben, 1 versus 5 in the rankings. We got Golden Boys Pick'em against Drip Check.
Whew. You allowed to pick your own game?
I am not. I'm pulling a Kirk Herbstreit. Not saying anything.
All right, if Junior was throwing at all, I'd definitely pick Drip Check.
He's not going. I'll tell you that.
Oh, he's not?
He's got Mud Bowl.
Oh, that might be better for you. Oh, yeah, I forgot. A lot of Mud Bowl's affecting week 1.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to take Drip Check.
That's fair.
Just because.
All right. And then on to the next one. We got No Fly Zone -10.5 against Supreme.
I think I'm going to take No Fly Zone. I think they just match up too well against Supreme. I don't think it'll be 10 points.
So I think it'll be like Supreme backdoor covers. It'll be a 2-score game. Supreme will score late. They'll hang around, but I think No Fly Zone wins.
Yeah.
All right, we got which I think this will be a very good game. No Limit Pick'em against Touchdown Mafia.
No Limit Touchdown Mafia. I'm gonna go No Limit.
This is a tough one to pick. I say, gun to my head, I'll go No Limit, but I could see it going either way for sure.
Oh, for sure. That's why it's a pick 'em.
Yep. All right, Heat Check -4 against your Tropic Thunder.
Oh, now you're gonna make me. So you're not gonna pick. Now I gotta pick.
It's up to you.
Oh, I'm taking Heat Check all day.
Okay.
Heat Check by 1,000,000.
I got Tropic Thunder pulling the week 1 upset. This will be Heat Check's only loss on the season. That's what I got.
I don't know.
I don't know about Jason's availability.
They have
But
other.
I think even if he's there, I got Tropic Thunder. I think Heat Check comes in too high, and I think Tropic Thunder, you guys upset them, and then from there on, Heat Check buckles down and doesn't lose again.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna come into. I think it'd be close. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Oh, it'll for sure be a close game. But that's my upset of the week.
I hope I'm the toughest game all season. I'll take pride in that.
All right, Web Warriors -2.5 against the Tangless and Gorilless Screaming Eagles.
I was about to rip on him for saying Web Warriors -2.5 when he ranked them the lowest, but he's obviously in the know of who's not going to be there. I'm taking Web Warriors. It's gonna be hard not having your quarterback and your number 1 guy. And doesn't Johnny play Mud Bowl?
So I guess this one is a 21 plus, and he's still 20. So he's not. He's quarterbacking for the Eagles week 1.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, he'll give him a fighting chance for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. I think this will be a back and forth, high scoring game. I like the Web Warriors as well, though. Pull it out.
I do too.
Yeah. All right. Flip the Bird. A possible Howe absence. I think he's going on a vacation. Not positive, but -3.5 against the Zigzags.
It is doesn't. Anytime he gets out of Drake, it's a vacation. I thought he said.
That's a good point.
Who are they playing?
Zigzags.
Who throws for them if Mike Howe's not there?
That's a good question. I don't even know if they have a QB2. I know Vance in a pinch, because he's a good athlete, but I don't see another quarterback on the roster.
All right. I mean, I'm taking. We got to play the game that they did last year. We assume everybody's there unless we know now.
Okay.
I would take Flip the Bird. I think that's a. I think it's a stylistic good matchup for them.
Yeah, with Howe, I think they pull it out too. Zigzags will fight. They'll fight with everyone this year, but Flip the Bird takes it.
Yep.
All right, the Greek Gods -4.5 against Free Smoke.
I'm taking Free Smoke.
Wow.
No doubt.
Wow. Okay. I got the Gods. I got the Gods in a close one.
That's Stevie the Greek's lock this week. Okay.
That's your lock.
Free Smoke.
My lock is Tropic Thunder +4.5, but okay. All right, Free Smoke. That goes against what you said about Townsend possibly struggling early in the season, but
That's true.
fair pick. This one should be a good one. Crazy Work -1.5 against the Black Mambas.
This is gonna be a physical game.
Yes.
A lot of running.
Yeah. This is like Navy Army back in the day.
And they both come out of the gate with a lot of chemistry already.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep. This is gonna be a very good game. So.
I'm gonna go with Crazy Work. I think there almost is no wrong answer here. I think this is a potential game of the week. I think.
This is, but the next one's better. But yeah, I got Crazy Work pulling it out too. Like I said, I think DJ just is gonna have a phenomenal year, and I would put him top 5 MVP candidacy. All right, so that brings us to the last game, the last game of the week. We got Certified Kings -1.5 against the City Boys.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd label this game of the week yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Curtis and Austin as a dynamic duo versus Yogi and Craig right out the gate. But
Yeah, but at this point in time, the quarterback play is very I would have to pick Certified Kings right now. Especially if you're going back on what I said doing the rankings.
True. Which you went opposite on your last pick, but
I can't be that consistent.
I actually think the City Boys pull it out. I think Yogi and Greg, get the team going, and I think Connor isn't gonna need to settle in. I think he knows what he needs to do. He's not gonna overdo it. He's not gonna force the ball. He's just gonna get it to his playmakers. He's gonna hand the ball off and lead blocks. So I think City Boys pull it out, but it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think it'd be a good game. And yes, Connor. I've talked to
smart.
Right. I've talked with him and played with him. He is one of the smartest players around. And to be a good QB, you can't be a moron, you know, and he's not. So, you know, potential there. So, we get any good comments?
No,
Yeah, you've been over here boo loving on your phone.
Yeah, nothing lately.
All right, well,
Put their votes in here and there
for who's going to win and
for the
stuff.
picks, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll get something where we've got somebody on the comments a little better as the season goes. Like I said, you know, we kind of got thrown into this, but we're going to keep the show going, make it going. But yeah, let's have a fun week. The wait is over. No more drafting, no more talking. You know, no more jersey designing. Hopefully, I was told the jerseys are going to be in Thursday or Friday. I don't know if that's true. Fucking my foot just cramped up. That's what they said in the captain's chat, but I didn't see much else around that. It's hard to pay attention in that chat. But so hopefully we do have our jerseys this week. That'd be pretty sweet.
Sounds like we will.
What's the if we don't, what do we do? Just get with the captains and you kind of pick colors?
Shirts and skins, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else?
No.
All right. Good night, Grace. Thank you. See you next week.
Keep going, guys.